What is discernment? Let's consider the meaning of this term more broadly, and then consider what it means more specifically for Christians. Though the word has a range of meaning and has been used differently, the definition that is relevant to this podcast is the ability to distinguish between similar things, or to tell things apart. For example, this is coffee and that's tea. This is a truck, that's a car. This is a painting, that's a sculpture. Sometimes the distinctions can be very subtle. For example, say with dog breeds, you could have an Alaskan Malamute and a Siberian Husky. These are both cold breed dogs. They both have thick coats of hair, but they might have very subtle differences, like different tails, for example. Because these dogs appear very similar, you must know precisely what sets them apart. That is to say, what makes them distinct. The ability to make distinctions is critical to human thought and reasoning. Children start making them at a very young age. This is a doggy, that's a cat. This is a spoon, that's a fork. Distinctions are essential to children's development, and sometimes they're actually very important to keep them safe, right? We teach them this is cold, that's hot. Making distinctions is so fundamental to human beings that one of the very first things they did was to make distinctions way back in Genesis 2 when God brought the animals to Adam and instructed him to name them. So discernment, generally speaking, involves classifying things into distinct categories, which results in greater clarity about those things and enables well-informed judgments. While the same is true when it comes to spiritual discernment. For Christians, discernment is the ability to separate good from evil. We see this in Scripture in both the Old Testament and the New. When God appeared to King Solomon in a dream and told him to ask for anything he wanted, Solomon asked for, quote, an understanding mind to govern, unquote, God's people, and the ability to, quote, discern between good and evil, unquote. And the writer of Hebrews exhorts his readers to become doctrinally mature believers who have their powers of discernment trained by constant practice to distinguish good from evil. And the Apostle Paul prayed for the Christians in Philippi. He said that your love may abound more and more with knowledge and all discernment, so that you may approve what is excellent. Paul also told the Romans, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So discernment isn't merely an academic exercise. We don't do discernment just so we can puff up ourselves or claim that, we're right and other people are wrong. But discernment helps us know God's good will, which guides our thoughts and actions so we can flourish spiritually and better serve others. A discerning Christian can distinguish between good and evil, right and wrong, truth and error.